Hello, everyone. Uh, Original video plans for today have since been scrapped. I was originally going to do both a reaction and a breakdown in one video, but my audio stopped working midway through, so unfortunately today you are only getting a breakdown of the Transformers Rise of the Beasts trailer. Overall thoughts on the trailer I can give at least, and that is that it was a good teaser trailer. It doesn't reveal too much. It gives us the characters, some sort. It gives us hints of the plot, but doesn't just show the whole movie in the trailer. So, a pretty good teaser trailer overall. The next 5 or 6 months are going to be nothing but promotion for this movie. So, without further ado, I'm going to play the video and we will stop and talk about whatever we find interesting. So, here we go.
Stand down.
Okay, so everyone's pointed it out by this point. The Maximal designs are going for kind of a biological and mechanical mix, but more mechanical than anything else. There's some hair you can see here on his shoulders. What I don't think a lot of people are pointing out, though, is that these designs look like a mixture of Beast Machines and Beast Wars in one, kind of like an amalgamation of that. Especially when you look at Cheetor, they look it look he especially looks like his Beast Machine's counterpart. So sorry. Yeah, I do like the design overall. I wish his head wasn't so tiny, but what are you gonna do? It's nothing you can really. That's nitpicking at that point. So without further ado, we will continue the trailer.
I'm not the one to fear, Prime.
I don't know who's voicing him. I don't think they've revealed that yet. If they have, I don't know who they've revealed it as. I originally thought it was Ron Perlman, but listening back on it, doesn't sound like Ron Perlman at all. I don't know why I thought that at first. Then saw they revealed Peter Dinklage. I was like, what? That's not Peter Dinklage. But then I realized they revealed him. He's the voice of Scourge, not Primal. But we can see they were kind of, while we're on this shot of Optimus Prime, the CGI is not finished, by the way, so that's why this might look a bit wonky. But I see they're going back to the Bayverse way of things, where Optimus Prime, instead of having just his ion cannon, instead has his arm blaster, which is okay. I personally don't like. I don't like how it looks here, but that's personal preference. You might love it. I personally don't think it looks all that great. Moving on, though.
There's a darkness coming.
And then we get to this bad boy, giving Optimus Prime a mouth. Giving a G1 Optimus Prime a mouth. Now, I can go either way with this. I would be okay if they didn't give him a mouth and just his faceplate was his mouth, but also Optimus Prime's faceplate is kind of unanimous as a battle mask by this point. No, by this point there's no really turning back. It's either going to be that his mouth plate is truly his mouth, or it's a battle mask. So yeah, I do like the design overall. I do think his waist or his abdomen here gets a bit too skinny, but that's, again, nitpicks. So moving on. Optimus Prime's vehicle looks great. Bumblebee looking like he did at the end of the Bumblebee movie.
It was all a dream.
So this is kind of like a remnant. This is a almost recreation of the way Sam and Bumblebee met in the '07 movie, where Sam gets in the Camaro and you see the Autobot logo on the steering wheel, and he kind of feels the steering wheel. So yeah, we know they're officially kind of moving Mirage to the main character spot of the new trilogy they're doing, which I'm glad for. It's glad to kind of get away from Bumblebee being the main person in every single Transformers movie. But I don't know how Pete Davidson's voice is going to work with that. I have nothing against Pete Davidson. It's just an interesting casting choice. I just hope he doesn't go too far with the comedy here.
Pull over! I'm not driving!
And if you don't know, now you know.
And Mirage actually creating mirages, unlike what Dino is. Mirage from the Dark of the Moon movie. I call him Dino. He's nothing like the original character. Unless you look at the video game. The Dark of the Moon video game, Dino acts a lot like Mirage. But Mirage actually creating mirages instead of just turning invisible. Which I guess you could consider... He could also do that. But like, this is something I would more consider a Mirage thing than just turning invisible. Which, turning invisible is also part of his character. But I also think creating holograms and stuff like that's also a big part of his character that was sorely missing from that video game. So, moving on. So this kind of gets into the characterization of Mirage. Mirage is very anti-authority from what we've heard. And that makes sense there because I don't think Optimus Prime would be okay with Mirage causing a car wreck on purpose. So... Hang on. Trailer's going too quickly here. Let's scoot back a little bit. You can see what I mean here. Cheetor definitely having a mix of his Beast Machines and Beast Wars looks in both Beast Mode and Robot Mode. In Robot Mode, it's a very quick blink and you'll miss it moment. I'll try and find it, but if it gets too long, I'm not going to worry about it. Bumblebee here with this roll cage. We'll get to Bumblebee here in a second because there's a point in the trailer that I really want to talk about. Here we have Air Razor and her Falcon mode. Okay, so here's one thing. It pops up later on in the trailer too. Why does every Transformer that turns into an animal have to breathe fire? It happens every time. Every live action movie has any Transformer that turns into a dinosaur or an animal. They're always breathing fire, and I don't know why. Especially Air Razor, it's an interesting choice for her. I can understand if it was like Dinobot or Waspinator or something like that, you know. But Air Razor, really? Yeah, I don't understand it, but I guess it's just unanimous at this point that Beast Transformers have to shoot something out of their mouth when they're in Beast mode. So, moving on. See, I think that's Optimus Prime there. Hang on. We got a good shot of RC there. Voiced by, I think her name is Liza Koshy. I'm trying to find... We get a good look at Battletrap in his vehicle mode here. Definitely looks like the Studio Series version with the bright orange and everything like that. We'll just have to see. His robot mode does show up later in the trailer, and we'll talk about it then. But a really good look at him here on the mountain highway. Really good look at RC. This looks really cool. This is definitely better than her face in the Bumblebee movie. Again, CGI is not finished, so it looks a bit smooth, a bit polished, but that'll get fixed later when the movie gets closer to release. We have Wheeljack here in his vehicle mode. We'll get to Wheeljack here in a second. He's probably the most drastic change from the Bumblebee movie. Like, RC gets a color change, but she's largely the same. So it looks like here, what they're having her do is, like, her wheels are going down to her ankles, but later on in the trailer, you'll see that they're up on her shoulders. So I don't know how they're going to do that. What I'm thinking is that the toy, at least, as far as the toy goes, I'm thinking what's going to happen is they're going to probably omit this and just have them up here unless they see fit that the wheels go here. But you see in the majority of the trailer, her wheels are on her back. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try and do that. That might involve parts forming. It's okay. Parts forming has its place, guys. Don't worry. But yeah, I don't see them recreating this at all. I see them keeping the backpack, them largely moved to the backpack.
Of all the threats,
And here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said I would talk about Bumblebee. Judging by how much we've seen of Bumblebee in this trailer, usually if you don't see a main character throughout the entirety of the trailer, like, or at least through majority of the trailer, that character's probably going to have something happen to them where they're not in the majority of the movie. I think Bumblebee is either going to die or be written out of the movie somehow. Because remember, we've only seen him twice. This is the third time we've seen him in the trailer. We saw him transform once around here, the 39 to 40-second mark, and then we saw him running with Cheetor here at about the 107 mark. So if we haven't seen him all this, and Bumblebee's a really popular character. At least he's a good seller amongst the average person. Now, Transformers fans are sick of him, so I'm glad they're finally doing something to get him out of the spotlight. However, I don't know if they'll actually kill him or not. He might just be severely injured.
from both your past.
Hang on. I missed it. I was going to talk about something. There's Wheeljack. Wheeljack looks way different from his original model that we saw in the Bumblebee movie. So sensitive. We'll get to Rhinox here in a second. Okay, so if you look closely, you can't see the little wings that go off of his head, and the door wings have replaced the wings that come off his shoulders. And also, he looks a lot taller here. I don't know if that's just perspective, like, because he's further, because of where everyone else is, how, like, he's pretty in line with RC as far as height goes, but RC is also a lot closer than he is, so he definitely got a size upgrade in this movie, but I don't know how I feel about them departing so much from his previous design. But, you know, maybe it'll look good. We'll see. I'm not a massive stickler for it has to look the exact same. There can be changes. I don't mind changes. So, moving on. And here's the big man himself. We got Rhinox breathing fire. Rhinox looks good. We don't see him a whole lot in this trailer. We see him here, and then he's alongside Cheetor in robot mode later on. Looks like a giant robot rhino.
And future.
You could definitely tell the CGI was not finished at that point, but again, we're 6 months away from the movie being released, so I'm not expecting everything to be done.
You've never faced anything like this. Let them come.
Here we go. Battletrap looks amazing. The Studio Series toy looks spot on. Like, all they needed to do was paint his eyes and his mouth red, and they would have been 100% perfect. That's definitely going to be one of the best Studio Series figures that have ever been released. Let's see, what else can we find here? Alright, here we have a transformation. So, one criticism I do have, because the CGI is not finished, it's a criticism of the trailer, not the movie itself. But the transformation sequences are real floaty. They're almost weightless, and that could be because of the unfinished CGI, which you can kind of see it here on Optimus Primal. It's unfinished. Same goes for Optimus Prime's leg here. It doesn't really fit with the lighting they have going on. And there's RC in the back there. The transformation sequences, you'll see it with Mirage at the end of the trailer. They're real floaty. They're real smooth and weightless, and it doesn't. There's no weight to them. So I hope they fix that in as they go along. But definitely something that I do have a small problem with. Here we have Optimus Primal. Now, you can tell they've definitely mixed the Beast Machines and the Beast Wars designs here. I think that's that might be Wheeljack. I'm not sure who that is, but whoever it is. There's another thing. He's very hollow. Like, there's no real musculature here. You can see right through him. That might just be the unfinished CGI. I'm not sure, but he's a pretty good design overall. What I'm excited about, they gave him his skull mace, it looks like. So for those who don't know, when the original toy for Optimus Primal came out, he had the swords, shoulder cannons, he had wrist cannons, and then he had this skull mace. They omitted it from his Kingdom release, but it looks like here they gave it to him. And of course, we have RC. There's Prime right there. That might be Wheeljack. I'm not sure. And there's Optimus Prime. He's got his swords. Let's see. We'll go back here. Yep. Got his classic swords. Got them linked up. Hang on. This brings up a good point. Look how easy it is to tell who is who and what is where. One of the biggest complaints I have with the Bayverse movies, the fight scenes are just mangled messes of metal and sound, and it's just, you can't tell what's going on, and nothing looks good. You don't know who's going where unless it's an Autobot in the scene. Anytime there's Decepticons in the scene, it is just gray metal being mashed together. So I am so glad they finally decided to go to this wide shot where you and have distinct silhouettes of each character, where you can finally see what's going on and who's where and everything like that. Let's see if I can find Cheetor and Rhinox. There's RC. I think that's Cheetor, or that, no, that's not either of those guys. Oh, we just saw Nightbird. Hang on. I didn't notice that when I first saw it. Hang on. That's Nightbird. You could tell because of the motorcycle, the wheels right here. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So it looks like RC and her are definitely going to be beefing the whole time. So I know there's somewhere, I'm not going to focus on it too much, but there's somewhere where you can see Rhinox and Cheetor and the robot. Was that it? Okay, that's Cheetor. And let's see. Yep, that's Rhinox, okay. Definitely looking like his Beast Wars counterpart. We don't have a Beast Machines counterpart for him. We don't talk about Tankor. And there's Cheetor right there. Very small glimpses of the two. I might have them backwards even. You can't really tell. But I definitely think that's Rhinox because of the little gold going across his nose there. So, they look pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sorry. And, yeah. Cool. So, let's skip back forward here. We got a bit sidetracked for a second. Terracon logo, that looks like Scourge.
And if you don't know, now you know.
This can't be real.
That's the main character's sister.
Oh, okay, it's real.
Yeah, here's what you really see it here. That one, it was very smooth, which looked nice, but it was floaty. There was no weight to it. It was very weightless, very light, very very, it didn't have the weight to it. That's one thing about the Bayverse movies that I really did like. The transformation sequences had weight, and their sound design was just immaculate in those movies. Really gave you a sense of just size and everything like that. But with everything we saw here, I personally think this movie is going to be really good. I hope it's really good. I hope it doesn't pull an Age of Extinction where everyone's like, yeah, real hyped, and then it's 2 hours and 45 minutes of Mark Wahlberging everything up, and then they, oh man, I really hope they don't pull an Age of Extinction. So, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, we're done with the trailer breakdown, by the way. We're going to go on a bit of a sidetrack here. The Age of Extinction promotion was centered completely around the Dinobots. The Dinobots were in literally every trailer there was. And then the actual movie came out, and they're in it for like 15 minutes. Like, the last 15 minutes of the movie is when the Dinobots show up. And it's a 2 hour and 45 minute movie. They use the whole promotion to promote the Dinobots, and then they're in like not even the full last act. Yeah, I hope they don't do that with the Maximals here. That would be so upsetting. It would be so disappointing. But only time will tell. We're going to get more promotion. We might see more. We might see the same. I hope they don't show us too much. But with all that being said, I will see you guys some other time. Guys, I need your help. Okay, so the algorithm is the #1 enemy of all YouTube channels. Any YouTube channel that's trying to start up or isn't pre-established is going to fail because of the algorithm. So what I need you to do, I need you to do 2 things. 1, I need you to hit like. 2, I need you to subscribe. If you don't do either of those things, this channel is not going to be able to stay afloat for very long. So please, like, subscribe, and if you really like me, you might leave a comment while you're at it. Thank you very much.